So the national anthem, and plenty of noise there as well, as both sets of supporters joining the singing. And now the presentation party, including the Chief Executive of the Rugby League, Maurice Lindsay, alongside President of the Rugby Football Union there, Bill Bishop, and also Jack Robinson down there, the Wigan chairman. He really is looking forward to this day, is Jack Robinson. And said to me before the kick-off, which is getting ever nearer, that he hopes his side can make a fist of it and get somewhere within 15 points or so. Maybe he was being a little cagey, but I think the Wigan fear is, will they get enough ball? If they get enough ball, then they could cause a lot of damage. And they'll be keeping their fingers crossed that somehow the likes of big Graham West at 42 and playing in the second row can tap that ball back from the line out, and that the front row of Cowie, Hall and O'Connor can hold at the scrum. There's Graham West. 5 years since he played a competitive game of rugby, although he has been turning out for the Wigan Rugby Union vet side. But they don't normally play against sides like this, Bath, the league and cup champions in England, having won the double for a 4th time. And a side that has never lost at Twickenham. 10 cup final appearances and 10 cup final wins, a magnificent record. And a proud leader of the Bath side is Phil de Glanville, his first full season in charge and winning both major trophies on offer. And also recovered from an injury. He got a knock last week in the Peace International in Dublin, a knee problem, but he's raring to go. Had a couple of training sessions this week, a heavy workout on Wednesday, and he's playing. So let's have a look at both of the lineups then, as the two captains exchange the mementos. This is Bath. They include 11 of the side that beat Leicester here in the cup final. The Scottish trio of Nicol, Hilton and Peters have gone with their country to New Zealand now, so Ian Sanders, Kevin Yates and Ed Pearce all take part, having all played at Main Road in somewhat different roles. Victor Abugu returns after a 2-month absence. So Wigan select 15 today and include 2 men who we thought we would never see on the big stage again. 42-year-old coach Graham West and Joe Lydon, 32 years of age. They come out of retirement to play very specialist roles at lock and fly half. Our referee is Brian Campsell, chosen to officiate today because he's got a northern accent. His words, not mine. More seriously, he's under a bit of pressure to play it by the rule book. That's certainly how Bath want it, just as was the case at Main Road under rugby league rules. And this is an encouraging start from Bath. Early ball secured. Yates takes it on. And it's good ruck ball, as you'd expect. Adi Adebayo finds himself more days in the centre now than out on the wing. Oh, what a start from Bath, reminiscent of Wigan's play in the opening minutes at Main Road. And the ball going forward.
Well, they did quite well there, did Wigan. They really were on song, the Bath forwards, keeping it very tight. But the mistake, the knock-on, and that is probably the only reason that Wigan will get possession early in these first 20 minutes. They've got to just wait until the mistake comes to them.
That's Steve-O, this is Jamie.
Yes, indeed, but this is going to be a very interesting facet of play, the scrummage situation. It is a technical department, and certainly when it comes to reality, it is a very different ball game to practice. And certainly with Victor Abugu suddenly back in the Bath frame, he will certainly relish the prospect of scrummaging today.
Now Bath have pledged that there will be no funny business up front. They will play it clean and keen. But look at that drive, and Wigan finding it very difficult to hold it. And it's Bath ball as they go straight over the top. This is de Glanville out to Lumsden. Try, or is it? The referee says no. He's taken it back for a 5-metre scrum, saying that Lumsden didn't ground it.
Well, they won it against the head, Bath, and very sensibly ran it wide. It was Phil de Glanville's pass, straight pass here to Lumsden, coming on the straight line, and he just didn't ground it. Good decision, Brian Campsell, but Bath should get their reward from this scrum.
Good work, though, from Gary Connolly. It was a tremendous ball and all tackle.
And there's another drive of immense power from Bath. Sanders knows as soon as the ball's over the line, the Wigan scrum half would be able to put hands on it, but the penalty was given anyway. Of course, it's Murdoch at scrum half for Wigan in the absence of the injured Shaun Edwards. There he is, and he will get a chance to put into the scrum for the first time. Gary Connolly, also a key member of this Wigan side today.
Well, we've seen one against the head, and I'm sure Bath are going to go for an 8-man shove here. Campsell probably should have given a penalty try.
I thought you might say that, Jamie, early in the game.
Here's Callard. Chance to counter. Oh, great run from Callard. The tackling non-existent there from Wigan. That will be of a concern to them. Victor Abugu. Another great position for Bath. Wigan going over the top and conceding another penalty.
I think they'd be quite happy to concede that penalty. They really were on the rack then. Twiggamala going over the top, but surely they'll go for the points. Well, look at the boos from the crowd say it all, don't they? They want open rugby.
Yeah, but Bath very sensibly get points on the board. Really get 3, get 6, then the tries will come. Of that, there's no doubt.
So it's Callard. Easy chance for him. Didn't have a particularly good day with the boot here in the cup final, but no mistake from that range. We've played 4 minutes and Bath lead by 3 points to 0. And the signs for Wigan up front, Jamie, ominous.
Yes, very much so. As I mentioned right at the start, the technical aspect of the scrummaging is going to be very difficult for Wigan to comprehend this afternoon. And certainly in areas like that, like the restart here we've got now, Bath should be able to secure it and take their time.
It was Lydon's kick and taken by Martin Haag. Held by Graham West, but it's back to Bath again with Cat. And here's Slightholme. This should be good against Robinson. Robinson did well.
Forced them out on the outside. Good defence there. Pretty fast is John Slightholme.
Now Bath aware that they can take the quick throw in, and they got it moving. And Radlitsky has to go back. But that's a fine touch find from Chris Radlitsky. 5 England caps for him and many more to come in rugby league, but that was a good rugby union touch find.
Yes, it certainly was, but well played, Bath. They've taken the initiative. They're making the use of their experience. A quick throw in from the line out. Now they've got their own line out here, just in their own half on the 10-metre line. And this will be another interesting area of the game, something Wigan obviously aren't used to. No line-outs in rugby league.
And it was easy for Haag, a comfortable catch at the front of the line-out. And now Wigan taste the rolling maul. And Bath can play it this way when they want to. They've got a good set of forwards, but they're looking to move it now with Cat. Off to Lumsden, who's coming off his wing. And again, the support was there, and they're quickly over and through, and it's Slightholme again. Redman. The referee's seen the knock-on. And it's play on. Sanders. Another knock forward. This time there will be a scrum. Wiggins.
Well, I think Bath have just got to be a little bit patient. It's a little bit too frantic, but certainly they've got control of the possession, and you know, as we see this particular move break down, it's de Glanville, Andy Robinson ever present once again, and Sanders just couldn't quite hold on to it.
Another mistake, and that's where Wigan, they're desperate for possession. We knew that they would struggle in the scrums and the line-out, but the loose rucks and balls have been a problem for them too.
Quinnell with good footballing skills, the number 8 picking up from the base of the scrum, but of course he's an ex-rugby union man and will be a rugby union player again next season with Richmond.
Well, at least they got the ball from their scrum, but I don't think it'll be long before Wigan just run everything from everywhere. You know, with all due respect to Scott Quinnell, there's probably no point in kicking into touch.
Well, under so much pressure, I think that Wigan just want to slow things down and try to get their composure. Maybe just sneak a bit of the possession.
It was Redman who won that line out. Ed Pearce now getting his chance today. In the absence of Eric Peters and Ben Clark, of course, moving on. Clark would like to have been considered, but John Hall and Brian Ashton thought Pearce was the future of the club. This is Callard. Now that's what Wigan do very well, tackling. And Callard knew all about that. Sanders, Cat, de Glanville. Little bit static there. The referee must check that the ball keeps on moving. It is doing now. Robinson lost it, but Wigan were up offside in midfield by a long, long way. And here's Martin Haag. Wigan failing to retreat 10 metres as well, but the referee prepared to let it go. No, he's going back for that.
Tremendous defence, though, by Wigan. They really are making a good contest of this. Not surprisingly, we expected the Bath forwards to keep it very tight.
A little bit lenient there, Brian Campbell, as he gives the put into Wigan, and Radlinski clears. This time he hasn't found touch. Callard, Lumsden, trying to get away from Murdoch. Back goes Sanders. He was a hooker, of course, in the rugby league fixture, but at scrum half he lost out there, and a fire goes chasing through. Terry O'Connor was with him, but Bath finding some space upfield, and Graham Dorr needing support. Comes from Abugu. It's a nice open game. Sanders, and men out wide for Bath, but Cat seeing some space in behind the midfield, just gives it away to Radlinski.
Bit surprised there that Radlinski didn't take the option to run with the football. He was under a lot of pressure, though.
Slightholme took that option, and here's Haag. The game being played in beautiful weather now, a nice spring day. This is Cat. Callard. Tuigamala quickly up. And in those one-on-one situations, Wigan will be happy to defend like that. Here's Stewart.
Bath forwards started extremely well, but if I was Brian Ashton and John Hall, I'd be concerned. As Jamie says, Bath are a little over-anxious. They've almost entered into the spirit too much. Jonathan Callard nearly got Bath in trouble because he tried to counter-attack, where quite clearly what he should have been doing is driving Wigan back. This is a competitive game, and Bath mustn't get carried away because they're winning forward ball. They mustn't allow Wigan the chance. It only took a great piece of play by his captain, Phil de Glanville, to stop Wigan going into the lead against the run of play.
Just to elaborate on that, Stuart, as you rightly say, I think that Callard and Cat, there's nothing wrong with putting a couple of box kicks up, a couple of kicks up onto the fullback, put pressure on just outside the 22, make that tackle there. And obviously the floor is not a safe haven for the league lads in the Union game, and that's where they'll be asked a lot of questions. So just to vary the game plan a little bit more rather than play this open game, which obviously would suit Wigan.
Well, they appear to me to making so much possession, Bath, that they're a little bit overconfident. They think that it's just going to break down the Wigan defence. But they've done well so far.
We've talked about technique at the scrum. Safety is also a consideration for the referee. Here's Radlinski. Callard. Trying to go round Robinson. Never an easy option, and Callard finds touch.
It was a good chase and good play. They took the short one, but the referee's not happy with it.
It didn't go 5 metres. That was the problem.
Yes, but right idea by Wigan, wasn't it? Just, there's no point lining all the players up. And here go Bath again, running the free kick.
And trying to sap a bit of energy through the middle. But they will know that Wigan are a very fit team. Cats see some space there. Got support from Yates, and the big prop goes. Needs some support back inside. Again, the referee can't be sure that a try's been scored. In fact, he's pretty sure that it wasn't grounded.
Yes, well, the touch charge was right there as well. There's Yates for a prop, a superb amount of ground. But once again, there's two men enveloping John Slightholme. Quite right, Brian Campsell.
Good work by Scott Quinnell there. He put his body underneath. There was no chance of getting that ball grounded. Well, the defence is holding out. It's a brave effort. They've been under pressure so much.
And that's twice now that Wigan have prevented Bath from grounding the ball over the Wigan line. But there the scrum goes down. And a little flare up there. The referee will step in.
Well, this is the area that there could easily be a flare-up. Obviously, the Wigan players won't enjoy going backwards, and also the pressure being put on them. And Bath calling for another scrum.
Some of the Wigan players there throwing a few burbles at the opposition. Should be interesting.
Of course, Bath have the option of the scrum from the penalty. And this one of the aces in their pack. Jomo is controlling at the base of the scrum. This time the Wigan front row doing well, though, just to hold it for a while, but they've come up now. And was there a foot in the scrum? The referee is going to give a penalty try.
Well, that doesn't surprise me at all.
Well, he's made absolutely the right decision, Brian Campsell. He can't go on having that situation in the scrum. He's playing the rules, as Tatupu and Abugu have a word about it all. And quite rightly, the Wigan players prevented that ball going across the line, so Bath could have scored. And Brian Campsell was left with no option at all but to award a penalty try. And you'll find, as we see it once again, that Bath are quite happy to take this sort of game at this stage, and then they can do what they want when they've got a few more points on the board.
A lot of boost from the crowd, though. They anticipated a little bit more action out wide to trying to force a try so close. But it's the rugby union game. That's why they are the champions.
Well, there's no harm in getting a platform. That's what Bath will say. They can spread it wide as the game goes on, but they have to do what they're good at. And here we see another effective drive from the Bath 8. And there's very little Wigan can do.
You can see them all offside. There's no chance that they can stop it. Must have been a big decision, though, for the referee Campsell.
Well, penalty tries are in vogue at the moment at Twickenham, especially at that end of the ground. Think back to the cup final. Here's Twigomala. That's brought the crowd alive. Look at that. Tremendous run from Inga the winger, as it used to be in rugby union. And now Bath forced to kill it and concede a penalty, all inspired by Twigomala's run. Murdoch goes. This is Leiden. Henry Poore finds Connolly. Radlinski just couldn't hold. It might break for de Glanville, and he kicks on. Robinson goes back. Good hands from Robinson. But that won't help. Here's Martin Haag.
That was a bad mistake by Radlinski. They had the opening out wide. The chance was on offer there, and it was an awful kick from Robinson. Kicking the ball midfield is not what's needed.
And now it's Callard. Leiden couldn't hold him. With Bath there going down a little bit of a blind alley.
Yeah, strong option, wasn't it? Should have come open side, really. This is the one. Andy Robinson getting the ball back off Callard, but nobody's running any pace or any great direction, and Wigan very comfortably taking Bath that into touch.
Stolen by Redman. Sanders in quickly. Ed Pearce trying to bulldoze on. Well done, Quinnell. The ball was clearly out, and that was legal. Now it's Henry Poor, it's Connolly. Now, will we see Connolly's pace around Lumsden? He was taken out late, surely. Penalty has been given.
Well, hats off to Wigan, breaking out from defence. It's definitely a late tackle on Gary Connolly. Quite right decision from Campsall.
Good refereeing there, tremendous stuff. But you could see the excitement from Wigan there. They mean business now. Okay, they've been put on the rack, but when they get the possession, watch for the good stuff.
And it was Farrell who caught that. But has he set it back? No, he hasn't. Here's Sanders. And Radlinski unable to control Sanders' sneaky little kick.
Well, Twigimala certainly hasn't forgotten the finer points of rugby union. What presence this man has, the crowd know all about him too. That's Lumsden being brushed aside. But the problem Wigan have got is when they go into contact like Farrell did subsequently, they couldn't retain that ball, and that's obviously a technical problem that they're finding.
They can't get the forwards working as a unit, as a pack, and making ground, but they need people to help. It was quite easy that they regained possession, did Bath, but it was a lovely kick though over the top by Sanders. Put a lot of pressure on Radlinski.
And here the Wigan players rejoining them all must come in behind the back foot, and the referee has spotted one of the Wigan forwards offside. And they're just wrapping round the tackler and preventing the ball from coming back. It's a big rule book, and it's a lot to take on board.
Yeah, but oh, dear old Graham West, age 42, he was over the top there by a mile. He's putting his body on the line.
Bit of spoiling tactics there. He's an old stager, and in this warm weather, he really must be suffering. 42 years of age.
Twigimala goes back and is forced to carry over. That will be a 5-metre scrum. Graham Dorr was going through.
Yes, indeed, and I don't think Twigimala sort of saw him coming. Graham Dorr would have enjoyed that.
Good work by the hooker. Really was quick there. Twigimala not expecting it.
Here's problems though for Wigan. It's Sanders off to Callard. Hasn't got the strength to beat 3 or 4. Wigan covering tacklers. Tremendous defence again, just short of their own line.
Good work by Afire. Tremendous ball and all tackle. Well, a lot of people said that he couldn't do the tackles, but look at that. Spin him round. Well done. Tremendous stuff. Under enormous pressure, Wigan now.
Quickly in from Murdoch. And the scrum half did well to get it away, but he's only found Callard. Lumsden. There's no way through there. So Sanders. Now will Bath look to move it wide. De Glanville, Cat. But offside again. The Wigan back line up too quickly. And this is in front of the post, and I would have thought that Callard will have a go.
Yeah, you know, there's obviously not a lot of sympathy for Brian Campsall, the referee, but he is playing the letter of the law, which is fair enough.
Well, to Bath's credit, they've started to move it. Running the penalty. Yates. Again, a Wigan player on the wrong side, cleared out of the way. It's out now to Adi Adebayo. And Bath have their second try, the first one a penalty try. That one more appealing to the eye, and Adi Adebayo is the scorer.
Well, they sucked the cover in, didn't they? and there was plenty here. Mike Catt had the first dart at it, but Adebayo scored it. But you can see 2 extra Bath players in support as well.
Good work by Catt. You could see that he drew the centre, Henry Paul, Adebayo, into the gap. It had to come. The pressure was enormous. But I must say, the referee from Yorkshire, Brian Cancel, he didn't forget the whistle today, did he?
Well, no, it's a requirement of this game, Steve-O, I can assure you of that.
Yes, I'm learning very quickly. But it was a beautiful pass by Catt. Tremendous work. Man coming onto the football at pace, pretty hard to stop.
And Bath's decision to run the penalty, totally justified. This is Callard now with the conversion kick. Not a good one, but Bath have a 15-0 lead.
Well, as we see it here, let's freeze it there. You see how this man is left-eyed. Robinson, I think it is. There's Adebayo, but he's got plenty outside. Adebayo gets it in the end, but look at the Bath players in support as well. So there was a clear 4-on-2.
Nice work, very neat indeed. They'll be happy with that with Bath. It was well executed.
Callard. There's Victor Abugu back in the team, having started the season with England. It all fell apart for him. Here's Stewart.
Yeah, that try from Adebayo there just illustrated Wigan's problem. Their defence is great when it's one-on-one in the league system, but the Bath forwards are getting into the Wigan midfield and suddenly there are men over.
Ajomo. That's the halfway line. But stolen by Wigan, and good work, but Henry Paul with the knock-on. It was Farrell who was bringing it away, and it wasn't a bad pass at all.
No, he should have taken that. Nerves obviously getting to the young Henry Paul. He's been around a while. But they haven't had much possession, but 2 bad mistakes when really they should have launched an attack. The first one was Redlinski. Now we have Henry Paul doing exactly the same.
And they certainly can't afford that, just giving away possession. As here go Bath again. Slightholm.
Here goes Slightholm then. He's got one to beat Redlinski. He showed him the outside, and Slightholm takes the opportunity. Oh, yes. He was never given the chance at Main Road, but he's taken it at Twickenham.
Wow, well played, John Slightholm. He came on a different line. It's the move on the blind side, testing Wigan's organisation. Look how straight he comes. He brushes off that first tackle of Robinson and then just takes the outside, and Radlinski is nowhere near him.
Good work on the blind side. It was a neat pass to Robinson, just hesitated a little bit, and it was enough for Slightholm to make the gap, and he's got pace as this guy. Tremendous stuff, but it's typical, isn't it, really? The thing that Wigan have been doing to other sides in Super League is making the mistakes pay, and Bath certainly did that.
Well, there's John Slightholm. He'll be very pleased with that finish indeed. It was the line that he took from the scrum. Now, freeze it there. That's the line he takes. Robinson just hanging off a little bit. But once he got through that, he was away. And Radlinski, quite rightly, gave him only one way to go. But Slightholm's very adept at taking the outside. And Radlinski will change his tactics when that happens again.
Conversion missed, but try number 3. Lumsden, the other winger for Bath today. Adebayo. See, the instinct in rugby union is to support the tackled man. In rugby league, it goes the other way. And you don't learn another skill like that overnight.
No, we always know it was going to be difficult, Miles, but Wigan have been their own worst enemy. 2 big chances that they've put to the ground. They don't normally do that in an entire game of rugby league.
Lumsden again. got away from Twigamala this time, which will be of great relief to him. Robinson, nicely up to Abugu, and Abugu goes. Robinson again, the link. This is a Jomo. Sanders, Cat. And de Glanville putting it down, so Wigan will get the scrum.
I just think there's too many Bath players wanting to get hands on ball rather than do their day jobs. By that I mean support the ball carrier. When he goes to ground, make sure the ball's, you know, committed, and they're committed especially, then they can pick up and just drive a bit closer to the game.
The thing that surprised me, Jamie, is the fact that the forwards are taking so much control, and there should be more of a link.
There's Connolly. Cat just had a little flick at him as he went past, but it's catching. Jonathan Callard. Well, it's not catching, if you see what I mean. The disease is rife, but that was poor.
Well, that's very unlike Jonathan Callard. Regulation high ball. He has those every day of the week, very comfortably indeed. But it gives Wigan the ball. They'll want it out quickly to try and launch these backs.
Murdoch off to Leiden. Plays regular rugby union. Former schoolboy international at rugby union, Joe Leiden. Here is again. Scott Quinnell, former Welsh international. Taken on by Tatupu. Good run, now he's got support as well. Tackle was good. But now it's O'Connor, and Wigan are nearly there. West driving on. A Fire is screaming for it out wide if they can move it. They might not even have to do that. But this time it's Bath's turn to hold up the Wigan attack, and a Fire is furious because he was unmarked on this side.
Yes, he is not happy at all, but a great drive, and what a story it would have been for Graham West to get over. Not to be, but then the second wave came, and they were just held up above the ground, so says Brian Campsall, the referee. That's a one each end, or a couple each end he's done today, and certainly from this resulting scrum, Wigan won't be going for a pushover, I can safely say.
Good work though by Murdoch. Good support play, kept the ball alive. But it was good defence also by Bath. You can see one of their players slip right underneath Murdoch, make sure that it was impossible to ground the football.
Well, Murdoch has scored in all four of Wigan's latest Super League games. And in fact scored against Bath, didn't he, in the meeting at Main Road. Now he'll want to get this ball in and out as quickly as possible. Bath would love another one against the head, but Murdoch has got it out. It's Radlinski. Here comes Paul. It was the support there quick enough. Quinnell did well. Good run from him. West once more. Now it's Murdoch. Connolly tries to clean it up. And fancy not that on. Twigamala is caught and the referee's letting it go. Connolly.
Good defence, they converged on Connolly there. Wigan players were very slow to get back so they could pass the ball out.
And here's a chance for Bath to move it. Cat has seen some space. Farrell just got him, looked a little high. Slightholme managed to hold on. But he lost all of the impetus out of his run. De Glanville, though. Slightholme has another go. Adebayo. And here's Radlinski. Twigamala fancies this. Radlinski wants it again out wide, but he was all on his own and Bath were covering well, but Bath getting over the top and giving away a penalty.
And there's going to be some tired legs out here this afternoon with the pace of this game. But well played Wigan, just the sort of ball they want. Bit too deep really to make big inroads into the Bath defence, but Radlinski and then Twigamala came back on the scissor But it's play on despite a couple of injured players hobbling back into position.
Farrell, just named as England captain, the youngest man ever to be given that honour.
You could see the problem, though, that Wigan are very slow to help once the ball has been put the ground. That's where Bath really have got the control. They're poaching everything.
Penalty, Bath. As Wigan were fringing around that ruck, the player has to come in from behind the back foot.
Yes, indeed, as Sean Edwards, the Wigan captain, not playing today because of injury, obviously. Looking on the proceedings.
Jomo. I think that signals the end of kicks at goal from penalties. Bath having run this one. This is Cat. Meant for Lumsden. Awkward for a fire. It's fallen nicely for Adi Adebayo to get another try. That was unfortunate for a fire.
Well, just when you want a couple of good breaks for our Wigan, subject to a wicked bounce, you have to say that. Good kick from Mike Cat, though, good option. A fire has to turn, but you can't cater for that in any game, Union or League. And Adebayo has the easy task of just dropping it over the line.
Just gets the fingertips to it, doesn't he? Martin a fire, but it was a lovely kick there. Cat kicking the ball, spinning it backwards. Good thinking, but well finished. Good support play by Adebayo. It really was an excellent try. Bad bounce, but let's not take anything away from the wonderful play from Cat.
Callard misses with another kick. Yes, the rules may be a little bit different, but the ball's still the same shape.
Yes, indeed, but it's good vision by Mike Cat. Good option taking. The fire, there was 2-on-1 anyway from the Bath players' point of view. But really, you have to have sympathy for Martin the fire in that situation.
Lydon gets us going again as we approach half-time. Mike Cat with the touch fine. Some thought the star of Main Road, Steve-O. Did you feel that from a Bath point of view?
Yes, I thought he was very constructive. He tried hard. I thought the three internationals on show at Manchester showed their fitness too. They really would make a damn good fist of turning over to rugby league.
Wigan cutting the line out.
Well, it looked pretty. Nothing came of it, but it certainly looked nice.
I think we'll go back to square one, shall we? It's Martin Hall throwing. And Wigan have got this. Courtesy, I think, of a knock-on from Bath at that line-out. Got some effective spoiling by Farrell. And Radlinski can try and do something. Connolly. Farrell again. Lovely movement from Farrell. What a gorgeous run this is. He's got support as well from Robinson. Tuigamala's there. A fires across. Robinson comes back. And the referee says there was some interfering and offside, so Wigan get a penalty.
Robinson caught well offside there. They look pretty tired, Bath, getting back.
Henry Paul to Tupu. Former Western Samoan Rugby Union international, played in the World Cup last year in all of the Western Samoan games.
Yes, but it's a little passage of play that Wigan will be enjoying. Marvellous break from Andy Farrell. There he is there. It really was a terrific break. Great pace for a big man. Little dummy outside, straightens it up. Nigel Redmond coming across, realised he was going to come second very early in that piece. just couldn't quite get Jason Robinson going on the right wing.
And Farrell is still only 20, 21 next week. What a great prospect. Here he is again. Connolly got away from his man. Chance here. Henry Paul, bit of dazzling running from him. Oh, he almost got away. Still on though. Wigan have a chance here out wide with Robinson if they can use him. It never quite got there. Lydon tried to get it across.
Perhaps Lydon was looking for the man on the inside, Robinson. But Henry Paul, wonderful skills here. Nice step on the inside. But good work by Jonathan Callard, just got to him in time. And I just thought perhaps that Lydon would have tried to bring Robinson back on the inside. Robinson just hesitated slightly.
Driven on, and almost there. The referee again says no try.
Well, very close indeed for Wigan. They would be delighted to get something on the board just before half-time. Once again held up over the line, I'm sure of that. And this time it was Tatupu who was inches away from securing Wigan's first points in the game. But what Wigan are doing now is they're retaining possession. When they go into contact, like Farrell beforehand, a fire was quickly in, retained possession. And that's what they've got to try and do.
Wigan need to score before the half-time break. It'll lift their confidence, because they've seen the breaks now.
It would lift the crowd as well. There would be quite a cheer.
It's gone against the head though, isn't it?
Cat knocking on. Oh dear from Mike Cat. And this, another great position for Wigan.
Not the best, was it? See, he took his eyes off the football. You could see that the Wigan players were coming down upon him. Well, 7 points here. That could really just lift them for the break, sort a few things out. And I get the impression that Graham West is struggling now. Surely he won't come out for the second half.
Quinnell went, Murdoch couldn't take. And it's Murdoch's turn to knock forward.
I tell you what, Steve, though, talking about Graham West, for 42, he's done very well to last as many minutes.
Tremendous effort. But he has to realise now that, you know, as the game progresses, both sides are going to get tired, and he must be suffering out there.
And you get the feeling that Wigan are adjusting to the laws all the time. Feeling more comfortable. Robinson, Maisie running from him, a fire, Radlinski, support is out wide, it's Paul onto Connolly, can Connolly make it? The referee has brought them back for a forward pass. It is a crying shame, because it would have been a classic try.
Well, I've been watching rugby union for years. I didn't know you had a forward pass, and that looked A-OK to me. All right, you may say I'm biased, but that looked absolutely spot on. Superb play by Wigan.
Well, it was right on the margin, that decision. Cat.
Well, it was obviously a close call from Brian Camps on that. Just forget the ball for a minute and have a look outside the touchline at the touch judge Stuart Pearcey as this comes across. The pass goes from Henry Paul, and you'll see the touch judge say, look at his hand. He's saying forward, forward. He's linking with the referee. So that's the communication aspect. That's fair enough. That's what the touch judges are there for.
So because of that, Wigan go to half-time with no points on the board, but it was mighty close, and Connolly knew.
On that first half, although it was a very good 10 minutes towards the end of that first half for Wigan. Stuart, have you enjoyed it?
I've enjoyed it immensely. Obviously, with my Union hat on, it's good to see Bath proving they can play a running game as well. They've run it a lot more than I thought. But what I really enjoyed is the first half was Mike Stevenson saying what Wigan need to do is slow it down. I didn't think I'd ever hear him say that. He's asking Wigan to slow it down, perhaps keep it in the forwards.
But a word about Wigan's performance.
Well, they struggled at first, didn't they? You could see from the very first scrum they lost it against the head. When they've had good attacking positions, they've lost the balls, and they really didn't get to grips with it. But in the last 10 minutes of the game, they've come into it. Gary Connolly nearly scored what would have been a great try. I think it was a forward pass, but it was superb play by Wigan. And they are adapting to the game. And I think Bath at half-time will be saying, let's tighten it up and squeeze them. They mustn't miss kicks to touch, because Wigan now will run them back, and they are starting to retain ball.
But overall, you said before the game started they would be too strong up front, and really they've been too strong pretty well everywhere, haven't they, Bath?
Yes, they have. They certainly sorted them out up front, but it's interesting, behind the scrum as well, I think one moment that would have really hurt them is the John Slightholme try. Because we always hear about they're much stronger and more powerful, but Slightholme's against Robinson, one of the best league wingers in the world, and you can see there, he's got a great line, he's shrugged him off, and now he's going to go away from him. Robinson's got two hands free to run. Slightholme has got it under the right arm. But Robinson really is beaten for power and pace there. And I think John Slightholme has actually nailed a point that just because you play rugby union doesn't mean you're an inferior back. And this is good football as well, because Sanders draws the man with a flat ball, and it's a change of line. And quite honestly, you know, you rarely see Wigan or any rugby league players miss tackles like that. So yes, of course, you know, it's all been a laugh and a joke with myself and Steve-O, but there are a lot of very fine Union players. And John Slightholme, he impressed at Main Road, and again, he's impressing, along with Adebayo, who I think is having a sensational match.
Briefly and finally, what have Wigan now got to do in this second half to get back in the game?
Break the game up as much as possible. They mustn't allow there to be any set pieces. They mustn't allow Bath to control. It's not slowing the game down, but it's controlling it and having the momentum to just go at Bath's pace. They've got to turn it into a seven-a-side game.
Stuart, thank you very much indeed. Let's now cross back to our commentary team, Jamie Salmon and Miles Harrison.
So another intriguing 40 minutes in store. Wigan have been making changes at half-time.